the only remedy and the easier medicine to avoid problem with Filipinos, whether you are at fault or you aren't at fault, is learning to say I'm sorry. It doesn't really take anything much from you. It doesn't remove anything from you. And when you say I'm sorry to that Filipino or Filipina person, my name is Praise, and today we're going to be discussing how you can be able to avoid trouble living in the Philippines as a foreigner. So I want you guys to really stay tuned and enjoy this video. So number one reason in which you can learn to avoid trouble here in the Philippines is learning to say I'm sorry. For me, I've been in a situation where sometimes I'm actually at fault, and sometimes the Filipino, the Filipina lady or boy is at fault. But in order for me not to, cause extra problem, or in order for the problem not to, get more escalated, I learn to say I'm sorry. Because here in the Philippines, Filipinos are actually people who get really annoyed very, very fast. And also they keep grudges a lot. So if you actually offend them and you don't find a way, to settle that scores or to settle that misunderstanding between them, especially if you're a foreigner, they take this into context and sometimes they can even hurt you or probably even kill you. So if you're a foreigner or you have been living in the Philippines for a very long time and you have actually been, finding it really very, very hard to really settle problems, around Filipinos, the only remedy and the easier medicine to avoid problem with Filipinos, whether you are at fault or you aren't at fault, is learning to say I'm sorry. It doesn't really take anything much from you. It doesn't remove anything from you. And when you say I'm sorry to that Filipino or Filipina person, they now get to find that, wow, this guy is really very respectful person and he or she is not very pompous. But when you feel like, you have arrived, or probably you just say the Philippines is like this, I can do whatever I want to do, then you're actually going to see the different side of that Filipino person. So the second reason in which, you can avoid problems here in the Philippines is avoid illegal stuff, illegal deals, illegal crime. As you can see, Philippines are actually very, very strict when it comes to crimes, not just only to foreigners, also to Filipinos. And you guys might actually know exactly what I'm talking about. So we have, if you're actually into, the scamming stuff, or you're into drugs, or you're into pickpocket, or probably you are into anything that is illegal and you're a foreigner, Filipinos don't take chances like that. You're actually going to be prosecuted very, very thoroughly. There was an article, or there was a news, about an American married, who was, chatting with a Filipino lady. I mean, he's a gay, but she pretended to be a lady. So this guy was always sending money for her, not knowing that this person he's chatting with is a transgender. So when he decided to come to the Philippines to visit this lady, probably this guy, he found out that, he was a guy. And out of anger, he killed the Filipino transgender. And when the police came, they arrested him, and he stayed in the prison for complete 7 years. Even though he's from America, some people feel that, if you're from a foreign country, they can commit anything, they can do whatever they want to do, and their country can, can back them up. But here in the Philippines, it's quite different. If you commit any crime, you are reliable to pay for that crime. And also, if you're into actually drugs, Philippines takes drugs very, 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 very serious. So if you're a foreigner and you're actually doing drugs, just know that, sometimes you can even be killed. Because according to the president of the Duterte said, anyone who's actually caught, doing drugs, selling drugs, or any forms of drugs should be killed. So if you actually have that in mind, Philippines is a no-go area. And also scamming, scamming is quite, there are actually so many people actually into illegal scamming stuff. So if you're actually into scam and you're doing that for, any purpose, the Philippines also is a no-go area. If you're being caught, you're going to be, persecuted, and you're going to be taken to jail. And the jail system is not fun in the Philippines. Like, it's really a place, where I wouldn't even allow someone to actually go to. I haven't been to the prison, I haven't been to jail. I don't really know how it really looks like. But those of the foreigners who have actually been to jail and who have been to prison and came out, they said that place is not really a funny place to really be in. So if you are planning on doing anything illegal in the Philippines, actually cut that off. Number 3 if you're in a relationship with a Filipina lady, especially if you're a foreigner and you're in a relationship with a Filipina lady, or probably you're married to a Filipina lady, I mean, do not hurt her physically, because if she goes to the police station and she reports you, you're actually going to be arrested, irrespective of whether you are at fault or she's at fault. Provided you hit a Filipina lady, I mean, they're actually gonna take it very serious, because here in the Philippines, you aren't supposed to hurt a lady physically, no matter what she has done, no matter what crime she has committed, no matter how serious that problem might actually look like. The moment you hit a Filipina lady and people find out, or probably she goes to the police station, to make or table a complaint to them, you're actually going to be arrested. And if you're arrested, this is not like other countries where people will actually come to look after you. You're in a foreign country. If you're arrested, sometimes people might not come to bail you, and you might actually spend so many years in the prison, even without people actually knowing you actually exist. So if you're in the Philippines and you're in a relationship, if you're a foreigner and you're in the Philippines and you're in a relationship with a Filipina lady, no matter how serious or no matter how that Filipina lady might have hurt you, learn to actually not to hurt her physically, because the moment you hurt her, Filipinos is a country which they respect ladies a lot, not just only foreigners but also to their own Filipino guys. So if you hurt a lady in the Philippines, you're actually going to be persecuted very, very thoroughly. You also need to mind the type of friend you actually keep, because here in the Philippines, not everybody are actually good and not everybody are bad, and not everybody who says they want to be your friend actually really want to be your friend. Some of them actually have motive of why they're actually being your friend, because there was a situation where a foreigner invited a Filipino lady to his house, and the lady agreed to come to his house, and not knowing that it was actually set up. So they drank, and when the girl went home, she went to the police station and claimed that the foreigner raped her, and the police actually got into the matter and he was arrested. And sometimes the police might not really care to actually investigate. They just want to just say, okay, the foreigner was raped, the Filipino lady was raped by a foreigner, and they can take it actually very, very serious. So if you are here in the Philippines and you're actually making friends, you should also know the type of friends in which you keep, because some of them can actually be very bad, and some of them also might actually have a motive in which they actually want to be your friends. The final reason is learning to obey the rules and regulations that are associated to the Philippines. Like if you're going out and you see a traffic sign and you see some certain things you need to avoid, like sometimes some people just do jaywalking, some people just walk, learn to really obey all those little things, because those little things can actually cost you prison sentence here in the Philippines. So if you're a foreigner, you need to learn to obey the smallest rules and regulations here in the Philippines. If you really want to really enjoy your stay here in the Philippines, you need to really obey every rules and regulations that are associated to the Filipino culture, rules, norms, and etc, etc. So I want you guys to really I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. So if you have been watching my video for a very long time and you actually enjoying the content in which I upload, and you have been watching my video and you have forgotten to subscribe, please consider subscribing. Turn on your notification bell so that you can be able to get future video when I upload. So without no further ado, I want you guys to really stay tuned and take good care of yourself, and ingat.